Hey y'all, this is Pastor Jason Mills, and I am so happy to be back and give you this word real quick. I was going to wait till Sunday, but I gotta give it to you now because I'm trying to tell you this word here is, oh my goodness. Y'all, I'm not even gonna belabor the point right now. We are going to be coming from 1 Samuel chapter 13, and we begin reading at verse number 11 actually. It's really verse 8 through 14, but we're going to just start at 11 for time's sake. So hear what the word of God is saying. In 1 Samuel chapter 13 and 11, Samuel said, "What have you done?" And Saul said, "When I saw that the people were scattering from me, and that you did not come within the days appointed, and that the Philistines had mustered at Michmash, I said, now the Philistines will come down against me at Gilgal, and I have not sought the favor of the Lord. So I forced myself and offered the burnt offering. And Samuel said to Saul, you have done foolishly. You have not kept the commandment of the Lord your God, with which he commanded you. For then the Lord would have established your kingdom over Israel forever. But now your kingdom shall not continue. The Lord has sought out a man after his own heart, and the Lord has commanded him to be prince over his people, because you have not kept what the Lord commanded you." Very quickly, I'm going to give you a lesson called "This is not the time to lose your head." This is not the time to lose your head. I'm giving you this message right now. God gave this to me so I can give it to you, because I know that somebody who sees this, somebody is on the verge of making an irrational decision out of fear that is going to ruin everything, that's going to cost them everything that they have worked for, everything that God has purposed for them. It's going to cost you that, and I do not want you to lose out on what God has for you. Okay? Because it is possible that God can choose you for a blessing, choose you for a promise, but it's also true that God can unchoose you. And I don't want you to lose it. I don't want you to lose it all, because you're probably on the verge of it. Somebody is probably on the verge of it. So understand what's happening here. Saul was just proclaimed and chosen as king in chapters 9 and chapter 10. And so, Saul is now the chosen one. What David would become later, Saul is now the chosen one. He's chosen by God. And, he's tall, dark, and handsome. He's all that stuff. But you know what? He gets to the point where he gets in power. He leads them through all these different battles and everything. And, the power starts to go to his head a little bit. Saul starts to get a little crazy and everything. And when he saw that the Philistines that he just got done fighting are about to come right back at him, they're on the verge of it. In verse 8, he says that he saw people scattering away from him. Now, he waited 7 days. He saw people scattering, and mind you, Samuel had not come back in verse 8 and verse 9. And so he offered a burnt offering that he was not supposed to offer up to the Lord, because he was scared. He panicked. And so there's 3 things I want you to understand about not losing your head, and this is the reasons why. These are the reasons why it's so important that you do not lose your head right now. So one, he waited 7 days, the time appointed by Samuel, but Samuel did not come to Gilgal, and the people were scattering from him. So first and foremost, we need to be comfortable waiting, okay? This is the time to wait on the Lord. Samuel's name literally means God heard. When Saul did not see the physical embodiment of God hearing him, that's when he started panicking. Let me tell you, I know for a fact, and I'm sure you probably know as well, that when God is slow about answering your prayers, you start to wonder. You start to wonder, like, Lord, are you even there? Do you hear me? What's going on? Like, you got all this anxiety that's building up because there's silence. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, the whole moving in silence thing seems like it's really cool. It's a cool thing to do in this generation. Yeah. The word that God has for us right now is that right now, instead of moving in silence, be still in silence. Have several seats in the silence of God. Okay, because if God does not answer your prayer right when you think he ought to, I promise you he's coming with an answer, just not when you want it. He's an on-time God, and he will be there right on time. He may not come when you want him, but he's coming on his time, not your time, on his time. So be comfortable waiting in silence. Be comfortable with God not answering you right after you got done praying. Be okay with that. So mind you, why did Saul panic? He said, when I saw that the people were scattering from me. So one, God hasn't heard him. Okay? And not only has God not heard him in his mind, or God didn't show him that he heard him. Now Saul is saying to himself, okay, people are leaving me. Now what he really literally saw was people going places. Yeah, he saw people going places. Now, have you ever just been stuck in a rut and you see everybody else going somewhere but you? That's got to be mentally demoralizing. That's got to be another anxiety booster right there, because you see everybody else doing something that you're not doing. And not only are they doing that, they're leaving you alone. So one, you don't hear from God. You are left alone, and you see everybody else going places. Let me tell y'all right now, stop worrying about what other people are doing. Do not let other people push you in a direction that God is not trying to move you. That will mess you up every time, and it's probably worrisome if you see everybody else going places and you're just stuck there. I don't know if anybody watching this video has ever seen that, but have you ever been stuck? And everybody else is getting theirs, going places, doing this, scattering, just going, leaving you where you at, not taking you with them. You know, these are people that he thought were going to be there forever. These are his subjects. He's king now. These are his subjects. They're not supposed to leave him for any reason, but they're leaving. People will mess you up. Trying to keep up with people will lead you in a place where you're going to kill your promise. Do not let people kill your promise. Tell them, regardless of what they are doing, regardless of what they are saying, you tell them people to pipe down. To tell them people, don't push me because I am close to the edge. I am trying not to lose my... Focusing on people will cause you to lose your head. Following people, paying attention to people will cause you to lose your head. Stop paying attention to people. We need to wait on God, and we need to stop paying attention to people. He says, when I saw the people scattering from me, when you did not come within the days appointed, because, Samuel's supposed to come back in 7 days, the number of completion. You think that it's supposed to be here in this time, but God is on his own time schedule. And the Philistines had mustered in Michmash. Now, Michmash is a whole nother place, whole nother ways away from where Saul is at right now. The Philistines probably weren't even thinking about him at this point. But this is what panic will do to you. Panicking will make you fear things that are probably not going to happen. Because he thought immediately, he's like, oh, the Philistines have assembled. They're going to come down here against me at Gilgal, and I have not sought out the favor of the Lord. The Lord's favor is not with me, and I cannot withstand this fight and this attack that's about to happen. He's anxious and worried about something that's not going to happen. Matthew 6 says, don't worry about it. God talks about, do not let, fear and anxiety and worry come about you, because, if I provide for the birds of the air and for the plants of the field, I will provide for you. And Saul knew that. The third thing I need you to understand is that God will always provide and protect you. You do not need to worry. You do not need to worry. You do not need to let yourself go crazy with this anxiety, because he's already done it before. Instead of focusing on all the things that could go wrong, focus on what God has already done right in your life. God has already allowed Saul to fight the Philistines and win and survive. He has fought everybody else and he has survived. He's won. Focus on the wins and not on the failures that haven't even happened. That is what fear will do to you. That is what being worried will do to you. I'm telling you right now, if you are seeing this video, do not worry. Do not lose your head. Do not be afraid when you have a God that has already shown you that he will fight for you. God has already shown you through everything that he has brought you out of before that he will fight for you. You need only to be still. He said, on this day, God will fight you. You need only to be still. Be still and know that I am God. God is saying, have several seats. Stop worrying about it. I got it. I'm not going to let anything happen to you. But because you decided to move in fear and not faith, now Saul lost everything. He said he would have established your kingdom forever. But you know what? Because you panicked. Because you got worried and you got scared and you moved in fear and not in faith. Now what? You're no longer going to be king. Somebody's coming to take your spot. There's somebody after God's own heart who's going to better appreciate the position that God has allowed you to be in. Saul had a position and he had power, but he lost both of them because he moved in fear and not in faith. This is not the time to move in fear. It's not the time for that. Now's the time to move in faith. Now's the time to trust God and trust that God is going to take care of you. Because if we don't and we move in a way that God doesn't want us to move, or in a direction, a position he doesn't want us to move, we're going to lose our position. We are going to lose our power. We are going to lose our promise. You might be on the verge of it. Don't let people push you because you're right now on the edge. You're on the verge of losing everything. And it's time to not lose your head. This is not the time for it. Move in faith. Do not move in fear. Don't panic. Don't worry. I promise you, God is going to take care of you. I promise you that God is going to do for you what you can't see him doing for you right now. He may not come when you are expecting it. He's going to probably come when you least expect it. And stop fearing the danger. Fear is almost like insanity because a lot of times we're afraid of stuff that is not going to happen. Don't lose your head. Instead, lose your fear. Lose your worry. Move in faith. Don't move in fear. Trust God. Don't doubt him. Lean not to your own understanding. Okay? It's not the time to lose your head. It's time to let go and let God. And watch how God will bless you and protect the promise that he has for you. You can be chosen and you can be unchosen just that quick because he's God like that. He is God like that. So yes, this ain't the time to lose your head. This is the time to increase your faith and increase your trust in God, because I promise you, he will not allow you to be in a position where you are going to be destroyed and lose everything. Okay? May God bless you and God keep you until we meet again. I'll come at you with another video very, very soon. I love you all so much, and I will see you again. Hello, everyone. I pray that message really, really hit you the way that it hit me. Oh, my goodness. So, hey, remember, comment, like, and subscribe to see more videos and more inspirational messages from the ETC Church, all right? We are God's people doing God's will, God's way, all right? Love y'all.